What's up, everybody? This is your boy Tricky Jackson in the house, and this is Real Talk with Tricky Jackson. This is something new that I'm going to be doing. Short video clips talking about different moments in my 30-year career as a bodybuilder, both amateur and professional. And I figured this would be a great day to start on 9/11. Um, I don't know how most of you guys are, but I'm sure that you remember where you were when 9/11 happened. And so for today, with this being my first clip, I want to dedicate it to the memory of 9/11 and starting off by sending prayers to everyone out there that lost someone during this period of time. Um, where was I at 9/11 when it happened? I was actually at work. Um, I worked at the time for Toyota Motor Manufacturing. I was the manager for the fitness center, um, corporate fitness. And I remember I was working with a client, and one of my colleagues came over and told me, man, they just um, hit the World Trade Center. And so I went over to one of our TV screens in the fitness center, and I had just missed um, where the first plane struck the building, and they were showing the smoke and everything that was coming from the building, and we were standing there, and everybody was watching it. Everyone was surrounding the TV, and if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, about 10 minutes later, the second plane hit, and we actually saw that live on TV. Um, for me, I'll never forget this because my heart just started pounding. And the reason for that is because just 3 weeks earlier, I was at the Team Universe Bodybuilding Championships put on by the NPC. I'm sure most of you guys out there are familiar with that event. And the NPC Team Universe was actually held at a theater just down the street from the World Trade Center. And the host hotel was on the opposite side. So basically, we would walk from the host hotel to the Tribeca Performing Arts Center. That was the name of the venue. And we would actually walk past the World Trade Center. So my heart was pounding because I literally had just left this event 3 weeks prior. So, I, as well as all the other competitors and NPC staff, we were very close to being there during this this terrible thing that happened in U.S. history. But I also want to add that the host hotel and the event were actually supposed to be moved to the World Trade Center the following year, which actually made it a little bit scarier to think about because the whole event was going to be moved to that Marriott Hotel at the World Trade Center that obviously is no longer there now that the World Trade Center is gone. But so that was my experience. I remember thinking, that I could have been there in the middle of all that. And so the following year, when the Team Universe came around, I actually sat that year out, and I had competed in the Team Universe. It was either 9 or 10 years in a row. I was in every Team Universe since the first year they had it in Chicago. First 2 years was in Chicago, and then it moved to New York, where Steve Weinberger and his wife took the event over. But they were going to move the event to the World Trade Center. So, theoretically, we could have been in the World Trade Center when that event happened. So it was something very scary. But so I didn't go back that following year. That was the first year I had missed. Then a year after that, I actually went back. And I'll never forget it because the way we got to the Tribeca was different now. So we would normally walk right past the World Trade Center, which then was called Ground Zero. and they had it fenced off. So we had to go across the street, opposite side of where the World Trade Center was, walk down, and then come back across the street to get to the Tribeca Performing Arts Center. So I remember thinking in my head that I obviously wanted to see Ground Zero, and I decided that I was going to wait until the event was over. So that Sunday, after the event was over, I actually took a moment and walked down to Ground Zero and just, wanted to see what was left and what they were doing. And it was something else to see. I'll never forget it. They had memorials. They had different things up. They had all the names of all the victims that died in the in this tragic event. I remember the fire station that was right across the street, just behind the Marriott, was boarded up, no longer open for business. And I believe that was because a bulk of the firefighters from that station perished in the event trying to help civilians that were caught in the buildings. So I remember there were a lot of peddlers, and they were selling flags and different things, memorabilia. But it was something to see. I'm glad I took a moment to go and actually see Ground Zero that weekend. But that's the story I want to tell. That's where I was when when 9/11 happened, and something that will stick with me for the rest of my life. But that's something I wanted to share on my first short video clip of Real Talk with Tricky Jackson. If you like this information and you want to share, let us know where you were when 9/11 happened. You can list it in the comments. All right, but that's it for today. Stay tuned as I bring more short videos, again, tracking and detailed information on different things that happened during the course of my 30 years as a competitive bodybuilder. All right, this is your boy, Trick Jackson, out. Peace, baby.